Alright, ladies and gentlemen. We have just got done with AEW Dynamite. Wow. The coronavirus rolls on, and because of this pandemic, that means a lot of wrestling that is going on is taking place behind closed doors. No fans, just wrestlers, small crew, and AEW Dynamite was no exception. It has finally fallen foul of this awful fucking coronavirus. We're all self-isolating, we're all homebound for the majority, or working in very tense atmospheres in offices across the country, across the globe. So WrestleBlog is here, just like everybody else, including AEW Dynamite, to entertain, and boy did AEW Dynamite entertain. So, taking place instead in Jacksonville, in Florida, inside an arena that a lot of people might recognise. I believe that's where they had the Fight for the Fallen pay-per-view exclusive show. But yeah, nonetheless, a very cool outdoor arena. They lit it very well. They set it up very well. And unlike WWE, I really appreciate the fact that the wrestlers were allowed to be at ringside. The majority of the roster that was available was at ringside, which was very cool. Heels on one side, faces on the other, which is nice. I'm not going to go all cornet and be like, "Oh, you're breaking the business." Like, at the end of the day, it worked. It worked so well, because what it did is it gave an extra level of excitement and emotion to what was going on in the ring, because a lot of these wrestlers are invested in what happens. Because, for instance, MJF and Shawn Spears are at ringside gambling, which, by the way, fucking amazing. And obviously MJF has such an identity throughout this show. You know, his rivalry with Cody, the fact that he's aligned with Butcher and the Blade, and we saw that during the match when he got up and he started screaming instructions at them. You know, he doesn't like certain women on the roster. He is an obnoxious little shit. And then you factor in just his general charisma at ringside. Brilliant. On the flip side of things, you had Colt Cabana on the other side, Christopher Daniels, SCU obviously, you know, chiming in, Dustin Rhodes. Guys who know how to be vocal and also support the product at the same time. This was a real Smark Fest. It really was for a lot of people, you know, like breaking the fourth wall. Shawn Spears is dropping selfie videos on his social media. I thought it was great fun. What they did is, WWE, for me, they've done really well with their performance center shows, but one thing I do feel like is that they've taken themselves way too seriously, bar the fantastic Byron Saxon Austin incident on Raw this week. AEW has just kind of said to themselves, fuck it. We have fun and we entertain people. We want people at home to have fun in the darkest of times. So let's give them a show. They still had the pyros, they still had the cannons, they had all the bells and whistles, and they afforded us a stunning show. Great opener, Lucha Brothers once again whooping ass, Triangulo de la Muerte, which sounds so much better than Death Triangle, doesn't it? I'm in agreement with everybody else on that. Although Death Triangle doesn't sound that bad, it just sounds so much cooler when you say it like that. Let me say it again for your text message tones. Triangulo de la Muerte. That sounds fucking shit hard, doesn't it? That makes me sound sexy, and that is quite a fucking achievement. Yeah, love that match against Best Friends. Really enjoyed Orange Cassidy as well on commentary. I know I can be a bit of a stickler with Orange Cassidy, but when he's used right, he's phenomenal. He's just sitting there sleeping while Taz, JR, and Excalibur are working the comms, which I thought was great. Tony Schiavone kind of dropping into the roving reporter role, and of course, wonderful job as well by Brandy Rhodes, who said she'd never ever do announcing again, and the poor woman was dragged back in kicking and screaming with that fantastic video as well that was dropped when Tony Schiavone had to break the news to her, and she was like, motherfucker. I loved it, thought it was great. Yeah, this show off to a blazing start, and it just felt a little bit, I don't want to sound like AEW versus, you know, WWE, because I actually really enjoyed both products, but for me, I've much more enjoyed this show than I have anything WWE have done behind closed doors, because of that wrestler element. It just felt like there was a little bit of atmosphere. You need people chiming in, you need interaction. This is the most interactive of all art forms / sports / dramatic presentations, whatever you'd like to call wrestling. And for one reason or another, it just doesn't seem to work when there's no noise. And having these wrestlers ringside, that made a difference. Great opener, fantastic, hard hit. But honestly, every Lucha Brothers match I watch is world class. Doesn't matter who they're wrestling. Honestly, they could be wrestling Larry and Barry from the chip shop down the road and they will kill it because they are just so fucking good at what they do. Honestly, I think the most underutilized tag team in the world. Really, they are. Phenomenal to see them back out there. The Triple A tag team champions as well, which is probably lending itself to why they haven't been used as much because they've got quite a heavy regime going on in Mexico as well. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with them going forward. But the fact that they've aligned themselves with Pac was awesome. No Pac at this show. I'm assuming that's because of travel issues, coronavirus. I don't know if he's actually back here right now in Britain for whatever reason. But obviously we wish everybody well. And I'm sure we'll see Pac very soon down the line because there ain't no virus getting hold of the boy that is Pac. The bastard honey badger. Oh, I love him so much. Women's match was really good. Once again, big problem. Big problem. I know I keep rapping on about it every week. Where's the fucking promo time for the women? Where's the storylines? Where's the promotion? This match was killer, by the way. Fantastic match. Great to see Penelope Ford in a marquee matchup. Now, I know she was on AEW Dark, but that's a bit different from being on TNT in a high caliber match. You know, Riho, Penelope Ford, Hikaru Shida, and of course Chris Statlander. Nothing wrong with these women as far as wrestling acumen goes. All of them are fantastic athletes and they prove that. I quite enjoy Kip Sabian being at ringside, playing the role of the bitch, being at ringside for the bad girl Penelope Ford. It was very amusing, constantly kept trying to interject, but ultimately it didn't help him because Hikaru Shida had done the deed and hit the Falcon Arrow. Unfortunately, as Excalibur says, nobody kicks out the Falcon Arrow. Well, apparently somebody does, because Penelope Ford did. So ultimately, she had to hit her with a running knee to get the final win. But Hikaru Shida is red hot right now. Another win. I think that's once again the right booking decision. Just so disappointing, though, that there wasn't some promo time. But this would have been a really good time to do that as well. You had plenty of opportunity, you know, and instead you have Kip Sabian getting slapped around the chops by Colt Cabana, which, don't get me wrong, I'm all for, and it's very enjoyable, and I love seeing Colt Cabana, and it's great to see that he's found a professional home that maybe suits him. Hopefully he's going to be in AEW long term, but yeah, just wanting more for the women. I will cut them a bit more slack though this week, because obviously everything going on around us has just been insane, and just having the opportunity to take a break from realism and see women's wrestling and a good women's match was, you know, that was awesome anyway. So just want to see more. Just want to see more for the women's division. I want to see them push more. I want to see the quality of their promo shining through, not just their wrestling acumen. I want to see their characters, their psychology as well a bit more. And hopefully we're going to see that going forward, because it looks like Hikaru Shida's getting a big push. And to be honest, out of all of them, she's the one who looks the best for me and looks well equipped the most to have a wonderful rivalry with Nyla Rose. Hopefully it's not just a one and done, and they're going to really make something out of this. Loved the entire show from a wrestling standpoint. I actually really enjoyed Jurassic Express versus Butcher and the Blade, mostly because of MJF being a right twat ringside. He was brilliant fun. No Bunny, sadly. Always a shame when you can't see Ali, especially when she's walking around in that wonderful outfit. Hot damn. Excuse my lecherous ways, but come on. Damn. Anyway. Yeah, great match. I do have a criticism though, and this is going to trigger a lot of people. I don't think Jurassic Express are that entertaining. Let me rephrase that. I find their matches very similar, very familiar, and very samey. And it gets to the point now where I'm thinking, oh, okay, either Jungle Boy or Marco Stunt, depending on who it is. Obviously, in this case, it was Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus who were tagging together. The small guy is always picked on, and I know this is a trope with wrestling, but for them, it's really overboard. Like, Jungle Boy's in there for about 10 minutes, getting battered. He finally gets Luchasaurus in, and then boom, off we go. It was fine. It was a good match, very competitive. Great to see tag team wrestling was at the forefront of everything they did this week, because for me, the tag team division has really gone underappreciated. And for me, it was great fun. I really enjoyed the match, hard hitting, very physical. But, like I say, Jurassic Express, really good fun. But I feel like if it's not for Luchasaurus, we don't care that much. That's just my opinion, is that without Luchasaurus, it sure as hell doesn't work. I mean, you can't call it Jurassic Express, really, can you? I did enjoy MJF just relentlessly screaming about Tarzan and Jane at Jungle Boy. I thought it was very good fun. But it was a good match nonetheless. The show opened as well, I should point out, with that incredible promo from Cody Rhodes. Bringing his brothers together. This show does a wonderful job of emotion via promos. We've had Jake the Snake Roberts coming through as well now. He seems to be a more regular part of the TV. He was phenomenal in his little bit of ringside. We even got to see that incredible video promo of Lance Archer. This was a week for amazing television for AEW. They absolutely killed it. One of my favourite Dynamites ever in terms of the content that they released, because you had that incredible video vignette of Lance Archer, that kind of background carnival circus ring, annihilating people inside a ring and then murdering that poor bastard against the cart. I thought it was great, with Jake the Snake Roberts just sitting in a chair slowly smoking. I just thought it worked. It worked so well for me. It felt edgy, it felt disturbing in a way. I thought it was fucking cool. But yeah, like I say, on the flip side, Cody Rhodes opening the show, appealing to the elite to come together to deal with the threat of the Inner Circle, because of course the main event of this show was that 3-on-3 match, and of course the winner would have the advantage of starting, obviously, the match. They're calling it Blood and Guts, but we all know it's War Games. Doesn't matter anyway. It's still going to be an amazing match. And obviously the winner of that match, whoever got the pinfall, would enter first, which means they'd obviously have the man advantage. And of course, the fact that Nick Jackson was taken out last week sort of lent itself to the fact that we would have a mystery partner. And we found out very soon who that would be. But that wasn't the only surprise. This show was loaded with surprises. The Exalted one. Oh, Brody Lee, aka Luke Harper, has finally arrived in AEW, and I could not be more excited. You've got Luchasaurus. You've just brought in Lance Archer. You've now brought in Brody Lee. Hoss. There's a lot of suggestions still that Brian Cage may be on his way eventually. This show is on fire when it comes to the sheer quality of its power wrestlers. And wow, I mean, it's a shame he didn't get Killer Kross. He's gone to NXT. Don't get me wrong, I'm thrilled for him, man. I'm thrilled for NXT. They're very lucky to get such an amazing talent. But, man, with Killer Kross as well, they could have had something even more special. But nonetheless, Brody Lee comes in as the Exalted One for the Dark Order. I loved it. I loved the promo. I know a lot of people are going to, especially WWE apologists, are going to be like, he fucking took shots at Vince McMahon because he's bitter. Come on, it was fun, it was entertaining. Wouldn't you do the same in that position? Of course you would. It's very easy for some fat basement-dwelling toolbox to sit there and say, well, he's just better. Well, yeah, he might be, and he probably has a right to be honest, because he was arguably the most underrated and underused big man in the history of WWE. If you look at the quality, especially in a company that prides itself on powerhouses and horses, and Vince McMahon going, just look at the size of him, wow. Vince McMahon of all people overlooking someone like Luke Harper, but still willing to use Eric Rowan on a regular basis. Come on, man. Come on. Don't get me wrong. No offense to Eric Rowan. I think he's actually done a great job despite that horrendous animatronic spider. But Luke Harper, aka Brody Lee now, in AEW, that's a coup. He's great on the mic. He's very physical. He's also an incredibly capable wrestler. He has everything. He's not just some big lumbering guy. As we saw when he worked with guys like Dolph Ziggler and John Cena, is that he got better matches. Daniel Bryan as well. He got incredible matches out of all of those guys, even better matches than you'd expect. And then he would deliver on the mic as well. He was a good talker. That Bludgeon Brothers angle was a bit but he still delivered well on the microphone. And he is by far and away one of the best assets and best pickups they've got. And with Lance Archer, of course, on the other side of things, with that incredible mouthpiece, one of the greatest promos of all time, Jake the Snake Roberts, this company is looking very healthy. Do you know what it feels like? It feels like AEW has made a massive investment in the dirty side of wrestling. And what I mean by that is the more edgy side, the darker side of wrestling, the more ECW-esque, if you will, deathmatch-esque, the more violent side of wrestling. Because a lot of people are technically pure, or more colourful, like Jurassic Express, or, more sort of entertainment-based. These guys are gritty, and they're darker, and they're tougher, and they're more physical, and they're strong style, and that is a great, great representation. Because what it does is it provides something that the opposition doesn't. Something that WWE doesn't do very well, other than The Fiend, who's been phenomenal, even though he's had his legs cut off. They don't really do darkness and gritty very well. And they don't do much of it either. When they do it properly, it's great, don't get me wrong. And we've seen that with The Fiend. But this is the first time where I thought, we finally get something a bit more edgy. Something that's for me. For that tougher, grittier, more rugged individual. I'm a very rugged person. I'm very gritty. I like getting my hands dirty. I like getting busy. When I train, I like physicality. And to see these guys, this appeals to me. And I know that it will appeal to the more hardcore element of wrestling fans. Absolutely. But also, I think it will intrigue casuals. So they'll think, fucking hell, look at these specimens, look at these guys. These guys look like cage fighters that have just been, just dragged through the pits of hell. It's a great, great thing to see, especially with Hager actually stepping in the ring now as well more, which is great stuff. So you've got Hager, you've got Luchasaurus, you've got Lance Archer, and you've got Brody Lee, and they all offer something entirely different. Not to mention Wardlow sitting alongside MJF. And do you know what's great? You name all 5 of those huge, big guys in his company, each one of them does something very different. They can all be gritty, they can all be tough as hell, but they all offer something very different for a very different demographic, and when they come together, that means you're going to get a much bigger audience. I cannot wait. And of course, the big news. Now, the main event was phenomenal anyway. We always knew it was going to be 3 men from the Elite, Cody, Hangman Page, and Matt Jackson versus 3 men from the Inner Circle. Oh, my boys, Proud and Powerful, Santana and Ortiz, and of course, Jake Hager. Can I just say, by the way, Sammy Guevara was fucking amazing. So Jericho comes out, and he's on comms, which instantaneously means you're going to get a 5-star quality commentary, because he is so good in his interactions, especially with guys like JR will know him very well, but now Excalibur knows him better. Tony Schiavone, Taz was on. I thought Taz, actually, to be fair, I can give him some stick sometimes, but I think Taz has actually been a great addition to their commentary team. He has been really, really good, and he offers a bit of grit as well. I love that. He's such a better commentator than he was on SmackDown, I will say that much. Jericho on commentary. Sammy Guevara singing his song. Brilliant. More fun. Getting MJF to kind of, play along with it. All the heels are like, I become it. Oh, it's fucking great. Absolute gold. Well done. Like, I saw loads of people tweeting and saying before the show, without the fans, what's going to happen with, Judas in my mind and all this kind of stuff? And it's like, well, there you go, right there. Judas was sung by Sammy Guevara and the gang of fucking quality. And the match was great as well. The Inner Circle, once again, overcoming the odds, getting one over on the gang. Really like the fact that Jericho was hammering home the story on commentary, talking about how, hey, we're the Inner Circle. We haven't fucking messed around. We haven't upset each other. We haven't cheap-shotted each other. There's no inner fighting in the Inner Circle. We care about each other. We love each other. It's them that are broken going into War Games, aka Blood and Guts. And I mentioned broken. It's a good segue, because the debut, of course, of the 5th man. So it was looking like it was going to be 5-on-4. Jericho made that very clear. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere appears the Drone. Skarsgård is here. And we all knew Matt Hardy was coming. We just didn't know what they were going to use him in. It was very likely he was going to be in this position, but you never know. You never know. And boom, there he is in the rafters, and of course you've got this big old arena. The lights appear, the music plays, the piano, the darkness, the delete, the broken one is there. And what's great about him coming in as the broken one is the fact that he once again adds another character. And by the way, you remember the final deletion and all that good stuff? So you've seen AEW, right? And you've been watching AEW's great, but for any AEW fans, you're sitting there thinking, yeah, they do great video promos. We've seen that with Bastard Pat. We saw that this week with Lance Archer. Incredible video package. Brody Lee's video package. Dark Order. They have it absolutely nailed on when it comes to video packages. I think they're so much better than WWE's. I wouldn't say that they're better video editors overall than WWE, because when WWE nails it, I mean, look at My Way and look at WrestleMania 26 with HBK and Undertaker. Incredible video promos. But on a weekly basis, their video production is a bit meh. It's a bit boring. And AEW are very happy to allow creative control. Darby Allin is another good example of that. Now, take all of that, put it with Matt Hardy, and all that creative control that he brings in with the great deletion, the final deletion, things like that. We're going to get some version of that on this, and it's going to be fucking gold, and it's going to blow up the internet, and I cannot fucking wait. Full disclosure, it's been a very rough time for a lot of us, and I must admit, today has probably been my worst day. Dealing with the coronavirus and everything. As everybody knows, I'm an independent artist. I create. That's what I do. Trying to get this YouTube off the ground. I've been doing the podcast for 3 years. It was actually the 3-year anniversary today. We were going to do a Q&A, but obviously with everybody so depressed and, so busy, self-isolating and things, it was very difficult to get any questions in, really. So we thought we'll just leave it, and should anyone want to do it later down the line, I'm more than happy to do a Q&A. So if you want to hear a Q&A, or you got any ideas for a podcast to celebrate 3 years of the Wrestle Plug, you're welcome to leave them in the comments below. And please, of course, do subscribe and hit the notifications, because it's so crucial to us, and so crucial to me especially, that you guys just enjoy yourselves and get a bit of entertainment. But like I say, it's been very difficult, very emotional, very unsettling, being somebody who deals with a lot of things like depression and PTSD and that, and trying to live obviously such a fulfilled life, and training and everything goes with that. Haven't been able to train, haven't been able to work, haven't been able to, essentially earn any money whatsoever, and it's been a very difficult time. My depression has spiked really badly. I don't mind admitting that, because we're always full disclosure on this podcast, on this YouTube channel as well. And yeah, really tough day. Really, really tough day with a lot of, self issues and things like that. And being able to sit down and watch AEW for 2 hours, just dynamite, I doubt someone like Cody will ever hear this, but I was incredibly thankful to everyone involved in All Elite Wrestling, because it has been really tough, and it has been for a lot of us, and I'm sure I echo the sentiments of a lot of people when I say, I'm so grateful for AEW, and I'm grateful for wrestling as a whole, WWE and everybody else, but especially this show, because I watch Dynamite live and then I watch NXT later on, and don't get me wrong, I'm excited to watch NXT as well, because they got amazing talents too. But I love AEW, and I love what it stands for, and it's very much a product. I went to the first ever AEW Dynamite, and I'm very proud of the fact that, I can always say I was there at the very first one. It was a big deal to be able to fly out to Washington and see that. And yeah, it's been tough. Been really tough, and it's caused a lot of friction, and relationships are hurting, and people around me are hurting, and I am very low and really struggling to get through it all, and this was an opportunity to have a break from everything. And I'm so thankful to Cody and the gang, and they've worked so hard to achieve this, and I hope this continues the way it does. And the excitement and the joy of being able to watch a show that had no fans, and yet I felt just as loved and connected with the quality of the product and the product itself as I've ever been. So huge thank you to everyone involved in All Elite Wrestling. I thought this was a killer Dynamite, I really did. As far as obviously more content goes, guys, I just want to let you know, if you are still listening, we've completely uploaded. So what we do a thing called Man in Monday. So every Monday we release a podcast where we cover retro wrestling. So for our last Man in Mondays, and we do it in seasons, and then we have a break, and we're currently on a break because, for anyone who knows, my normal co-host Steve, congratulations Steve, is a father, so he won't be online for a while. So it's just me holding down the fort, basically doing everything, which is pretty much what I do anyway, but I miss the sound of Steve's voice because he keeps entertaining. But Monday Mondays is normally dropped every Monday. Now, we've almost finished it. What we did this year is we covered, or this season shall I say, is we covered the year of 2004. Some people will know that as a great year for WWE. Obviously Eddie Guerrero winning the title, Brock Lesnar, and Goldberg moving on from the company, Chris Benoit, redacted, won the belt. A lot of great moments, and we thought, as reasonably big Randy Orton fans as well, it'd be very cool to go back and look at the age of Orton, because this is where it all began. He won his first ever World Championship. Now, normally those are just available on the audio podcast, but I've been working my arse off, and if you go to our YouTube page, hopefully by the time you listen to this, they'll all be available. I've uploaded every single one up until only the last two, obviously, because they are still due to be released, but they will be released along this channel as well. I've uploaded every single one of our Manic Mondays year 2004 review. So what that is you can listen to each and every one of our reviews of every pay-per-view from that year, from the Royal Rumble all the way through to Armageddon. And the idea behind that isn't because I'm desperate for more listeners and more subscriptions. It's simply so you guys have got plenty to get your teeth into. And I know so many people messaging me saying, I'm stuck at home, I haven't got anything to do. I'm one of those people. I'm struggling with that too. Any distraction is welcome. And so that's why Manic Mondays 2004 is available on our YouTube channel, guys. So get involved, check it out, leave some comments, have a good time with it. Still got a couple more left as well. We've got Survivor Series and Armageddon, which drop over the next 2 Mondays, and then that's it for this season of Manic Mondays. And we will announce, of course, on the last episode what we'll be covering on the next season of Manic Mondays when the good brother Steve returns. But that's pretty much it. I hope you've enjoyed this review of AEW. Thank you so much for checking out the YouTube channel. Even if just 1 or 2 of you listen, means the world to me. And obviously, if you do have any friends who you think might be interested, please tag them in the comments below and have your say. Like the video, subscribe, let us know your honest opinions, let us know what you want me to cover next, because I'm going to be pumping out content like crazy. And as you know, we haven't just got WrestlePlug reviews or the Manic Mondays old school wrestling reviews, but we've also got WrestlePlug rants, which is where me and a select group of my friends, if they're available, basically have a rant about anything. And this is your opportunity to let us know. So message us on all the social medias at WrestlePlug and let us know what videos you want to rant about, because I guarantee at this point in time there's an insane amount of time available. So we're going to rant on every single topic that you send us. So if you listen to this, send us something that you want to hear me rant about. I've got loads of impressions in the bank. There's plenty more Macho Man Randy Savage impressions. Bonesaw is ready. There's plenty more of that, and plenty more of Vince McMahon, Donald Trump, the whole lot. The idea is that you guys are entertained. But until then, please look after yourselves. Be healthy, be safe, follow guidelines, but at the same time, try not to panic. Just try and live your life the way you normally would, and remember that you've always got a voice and you've always got a little escape from the reality with the WrestlePlug. Take it easy, gang.